feeling alright. The first few videos I did for the men, for the nights, and I've now done the title sequence for the nights and the ladies in waiting. Two different sequences, and I learned something very interesting in this process, because you'll notice that the night sequence is taken from the high point across the garden to the bee wagon in a very wide view, looking at the overview of the whole place. And when I did the ladies one, I didn't know I was making the ladies introduction video. The blackbird called me out there, and when I went outside I found the blackbird sitting on the place where I built the yurt. And so I photographed the blackbird, and when I finished photographing the blackbird I did a pan around and through into the bee wagon again. And it turns out this is the sequence for the ladies, and it's the exact opposite in that it's a close-up view, the ladies looking at the detail. So perhaps these two videos is teaching us something about the way that ladies look at the world in a different way to the way men look at it. Men look at the overall picture and ladies are looking at the detail. Perhaps they're missing the overview, and in some parts men are missing the detail. So it gives us an idea how everything gets looked after, and if we don't have one of us looking at the detail and one looking at the overview, then we can't completely cover these areas. Of course, the highest overview is the safety of the people, the safety of the tribe, and the safety of the ladies, the partner, and so on. And so this is why ladies partner with gentlemen, is for their own safety, so that they can become beautiful ladies and stay beautiful ladies. And if a lady partners with a good knight and becomes a lady and gentleman, they're able to become better and better and better throughout their lives, more beautiful in fact, more loving and more kind to each other, and live a good long life, and at a ripe old age, perhaps 94 years old, something like Pete Seeger and his partner, then they go out about the same time together. And this is the ideal life that a lady could live. And so, what can happen to a lady if she doesn't have this life happen to her, that she has some other life happen to her? The very difficult thing for ladies is that ladies believe what men tell them. And so when a lady talks to a man, she assumes the man knows what he's talking about, and everything that the man says to the lady is absorbed into the lady and goes into her brain and forms her brain. And if there's anything wrong in what the man is telling her, this is going to form an erroneous part of the brain and give the lady problems when she meets a man who knows the right way. And so each lady, the brain of each lady has been polluted by men to a different degree depending on how long they've spent listening to bad people, and whether they learned what they needed to learn from the good men that they met, and whether the good men that they met understood what their duty was towards a lady, to bring her mind into a good order, the same as their good order of their mind, and that they didn't just give up on the lady like many of the like that words from the Rolling Stones, you know. This could be the last time, maybe the last time, I don't know. Oh no, oh no, because those words is coming from heaven, you know. Oh no, it's not the last time. It's definitely not the last time. And if the man runs from his duty towards the lady, then he's going in the downward pathway. Yet this does not help the lady who's now lost her man and has been polluted by the false teachings of the man, and now needs another man to fix her up. So there's a mechanism in nature which gives a couple a chance, but then if the man fails in his duty, it leaves the lady the responsibility of another man and puts the man on a difficult downward journey. Ladies need to understand this because it's not their fault. Everything to do with the problems with the lady is a man's problem, and this is the biggest mistake since Adam. Adam thought it was the lady's problem, that she didn't behave properly in the garden. Yet he left her and went away by himself and did things by himself, and you're not allowed to leave the lady alone by herself for too long. It's not allowed. And so if a gentleman leaves a lady by herself, she'll get up to all sorts of things because she has to teach him that it's not right, and eventually she'll partner with another man. This is the karma for any man who leaves a lady on her own, and it will happen that she will end up with another partner. So I'm going to tell you a little story because but wait, there's more. Mick Jagger stole the lady from Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry's partner became Mick Jagger's partner in the end. And what happened is Brian Ferry made a big mistake, and that is he put her picture on an album cover, Juicy Lucy, which was an erotic album cover, the most erotic album cover from the 1960s. And I think they met during the photo shoot. She was a model for the cover. And so it was his karma really to partner with this lady, put her picture on the cover, and then have Mick Jagger come around the house all the time to visit, because he'd seen the picture of Juicy Lucy and he wanted a piece of Juicy Lucy. And this is a great sin of the man, is to talk about his lady to others or display his lady in some way like this to other men. Then his karma is he must have another man come and do this. Now, when Mick Jagger came around the house, he didn't come around to talk to Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry knew this. The lady came, he came looking for the lady, and the lady also didn't know how to behave, because she was looking at Mick Jagger in the eyes, you know, with the love that she should be keeping for Brian Ferry. So the ladies need to learn that they must avert the eyes, they must keep this special love only for the intimate family, and they cannot just with strangers use this special charm. It's called charm, and this is actually what they say witches use. Witches use charm on men. And so do not become a witch and use charm on men, because if a lady looks into the eyes of a man, doesn't matter who the man is, with that loving look, the man falls in love with her. Now the lady doesn't know that. He wants to have sex with her, he wants to go all the way with her once he's looked into her eyes. And so unless the lady wants to partner and she's single and she's decided this is her partner, she should never look the man in the eyes, otherwise it's just trouble. And so Mick Jagger came round and Juicy Lucy looked Mick in the eyes, and Mick couldn't help himself, he just fell in love with her. and he was pursuing her around the table apparently to try to kiss her in front of Bryan Ferry. Bryan Ferry put up with all of this, you know. He didn't throw him out straight away. And the karma is, if the knight doesn't throw the guy out like this, then he's going to lose his lady, and this is exactly what happened to Bryan Ferry. This lady went off with Mick Jagger, and that was the end of it. And he was a nice gentleman, and Bryan Ferry, he was dressed in very fine gentleman's clothing. He wanted her to wear very beautiful ladies' clothing. Yet she didn't like this, and so perhaps she was with Bryan Ferry for the wrong reasons. Perhaps she didn't fall in love with Bryan Ferry. We don't know. Yet she was attracted to Mick Jagger, and off she went. And so it's important for ladies to know that if they're going to look a man in the eyes, she's going to want her. And this is the first lesson in the Ladies in Waiting video series. Sex for ladies in waiting, because sex starts with ladies with a look in the eyes. This is sex. And so many ladies don't realize this and just go looking at everybody and hugging everybody. This is not allowed either. And if you do this, all these men will fall in love with you, and there'll be all sorts of problems. And you won't keep your partner. That will be the end of it. You'll be off with somebody else. And once you do this, once you're off with somebody else, then it can never be as good as the first one. The first one that nature puts you with is always the best, and you must do your best to keep this one. Otherwise, your pathway is going to be full of the karma of the old relationships. Thank you. Ladies will receive the attention of many men who are not suitable partners for ladies. And it's important for ladies to be able to recognize these men from the one who is suitable. And there is very a paucity really of men. It means there are very few men suitable for ladies anymore, because men don't go to the army anymore, and men find comfortable positions in society, in the fallen society, which means that they cannot grow in a good way to become high enough level in nature to have a good lady. And so they're really boys. And you can tell this, I need to say, you can tell this from what they're wearing. If they have no hat at all, is not a good sign. And the lowest form of hat a boy can have is this cap, the boy's cap, a baseball cap. Now, anybody who's wearing a baseball cap the wrong way around, you really need to not talk to at all. You just simply, if they speak to you, just don't answer and just go away, walk away, go somewhere else where there aren't any of these people. Because these are people going on the very wrong pathway. And what a young man with a baseball cap on means is he's a squire. And the squire is lower than a knight. He's not a knight, he's a squire. He's got the potential to become a knight if a lady wants to support his quest to be a knight. Then she could partner with a squire and send him on a few missions, on some overseas experiences, that over time he may become a good enough knight to make her a lady true lady, because she's not a real lady yet. She's a lady in waiting. A lady in waiting is somebody who is learning generally from a real lady. Normally she forms the entourage, or comes into group with a real lady and does favours for this real lady as she waits for her knight to come and be joined together with her. And normally it's the position of the lady to award the knight to the lady in waiting. These days are over really, and it will be some time before they come back. And so normally the lady in waiting is simply waiting on her own somewhere, and so she finds herself confined to a tower. And what this tower is in modern terms is a flat. She has a flat somewhere and she's stuck in this flat, and she doesn't get to go out too much, and she's waiting for a knight. And while she's waiting, she can be watching Adam's videos, because this is preparing her for a knight, and it must mean that the knight's on the way if she's watching these videos, because why would nature bring the videos first and then not bring the knight? You know, the two are connected. And so for a lady to know what to do, how to be a lady in waiting, and I'm a man, so I don't know a lot about this, only what I've learned, so I can only share with you from a man's point of view. And it's important that I do, because it's not the lady's job to teach the other ladies about these kind of things. It's really a man's job. And normally a whole family is brought up with these ideas from the father. Yet, if the father doesn't know these things, then how can he teach them to his family? And this is what's happened to the world. And so I have to become a new kind of model father to teach you young ladies in waiting how to behave with the men, what you to do and what not to do, and to know that your karma is going to be not so good if you do certain things. So the idea is to keep away from the dark side. You can't go out to places like pubs and things like this. You can't go unescorted. If you go on your own, there's lots of trouble. And so really, for the lady to know this, to know that she needs to have an escort. Often people just find that they are escorted anyway. They need to meet a man, and so some other gentleman that they know accompanies them to this meeting. Just happens that way. They don't plan it. And nature will make it so if this is the karma of the lady. Yet if the lady's karma is that she must have these experiences with dark men, this she must do. And so some ladies find their way into these karma, areas of karma, and I don't know how they do this, because I'm not a lady. Yet I see that some do it, and it's necessary to know that the lady's journey can lead into these areas. And so to do just the good things that I tell you, to avert the eyes, not spend time in good companies, to know the difference between a good man and a not so good man. And if you want to know a gentleman, he always wears some kind of a cap, a gentleman's cap, and it's normally, I don't have one of the normal caps. It's one that's a bit like this at the front and closed at the back. This is a beret. This is a higher level hat, and only the higher level knights will wear a beret. It's unusual for not many men wear berets, and so you know their level is quite high if they're wearing a beret. The next level down is this duck shaped object, cap with a brim on it, and to go less, that looks like a duck, but if you want to look like Donald Duck, this is the one with the baseball cap on the peak. So this is just a junior duck look really, and the symbol for the gentleman is the duck, and the symbol for the divine couple is a pair of ducks. That's why you will see they're always together, ducks, and If you go to good people's homes, you'll see ducks on the walls, and pictures of ducks and things like this. The symbolism finds its way into the houses of those who are divine couples. That's enough for this short video. Thank you. Well, we were talking about how to spot the good night. Now, you have to realize that people who drink alcohol and smoke marijuana have been put on a downward pathway. They're not doing this because they feel like doing this. They're doing this because they have to do this. They're being marked in this way to know that you shouldn't really associate with these people. And so if you're going where there's people who are drinking and smoking marijuana, you're going to be coming into contact with the wrong kind of people. And if you do this, you end up falling into this downward pathway yourself as a lady. And so it's best to stay away from this stuff. And if anybody offers you this kind of stuff, you just have to say no and get out of there quickly. If you start to drink, anything can happen to you. And you can find yourself having sex with one of these people. And this can be a very bad experience and can be the start of a further descent into a downward pathway. And so, to stay away from all this bad stuff, the world's full of it now, and to stay with the good people who are living good, clean lives and are able to be divine couples. These other kind are not able to be divine couples. They can only have bad relationships for short periods of time and go from one partner to the next and suffer in the process very greatly. Okay, so you're waiting for your night. You're not going to take some riffraff. You're going to wait for a good man. And this is what ladies do. Men will try to go with any lady. Ladies wait for a good gentleman to come along. And they know when their gentleman turns up, they just know it. And ladies have more attunement with the earth, and so they know certain things, they just know. So if you're the gentleman of the lady, she'll know, and she'll find some way to let you know. But this is for ladies, so you need to tell your knight he's yours, let him know, and when he goes away you must give him your scarf for him to wear, so he knows that he has a lady. If anything happens to his scarf, well, could be he's losing his lady, or it could be his lady's going to give him a nicer scarf. This is a journey of scarves to be got through with the lady. So you come together with your knight and you kiss a little, and then maybe he's got to go away on a journey, and so he needs to know that you're waiting for him, and he must not have anything to do with other ladies except to defend nature and the ladies in nature, and not to fall for any lady, and to not to look in the lady's eyes, because he can fall in love with any lady he looks in the eyes of. He has to be aware of this. Many ladies don't know not to do this, and so they will do this. If he knows that you're his lady, and he knows about this system that nature has, where the man must go away and prove himself to be good, as a good knight on the journey, and perform some heroic deeds in the outer world before he can get more from his lady, then he's understanding the principle and the process of nature, and so he can go away and do it knowing that his lady's going to be there. But people feel, oh, the lady might go off with some other man. It can never happen this. The lady will always wait for her good knight. Nature will make sure of this. And it's only if the knight does something wrong on the pathway, the lady has to do even worse to him. So in the end it's the knight's problem. All the problems in the world are the problem of the knight. He allowed the world to become the way it is, and it's his job to put it right. And it starts with his lady, and if he goes from one lady to the next, what happens is he gets more and more difficult ladies, and so the big dragons end up with the guy who's had the most time, the most ladies, and so each time he gets a more difficult lady. So this is his karma, and in the end he has to perform a very, very, very big feat to transform the most difficult of all ladies to become his beautiful lady again. This is a process that the lady goes through. She becomes worse and worse until some man, great man, teaches her what she needs to know and corrects the mistakes that the previous men that she came into contact with told her, all the mistakes, all the lies that they told her. Okay, so you mustn't listen to the lies of the men who don't know the way, and it's only the good knights who, really those who have these videos, who know the way, because it's an old way, but it's only being rediscovered by these people who know about these videos. So it's necessary to share these videos with your friends and to form a new divine civil society around these videos, that these videos are necessary study for all members of a new divine civil society. We find a new way forward so that we can be ladies and gentlemen again. And of course what the lady gets out of it is the great beauty. She has a great beauty which is taken away if she's not with a gentleman. And if you walk in the streets here of Lobeda, you'll see many ugly old ladies, and these are the ones who married not for love, they only married for the easy way out. And they married an inferior man, a man who was not brave and courageous like a knight, able to teach them a good way. They married some man who was not capable of this, and so they married beneath themselves, and now they're all old and ugly, and you can see them walking the streets all around you. You don't want to end up like that. And so here's the blackbirds come to say hi. He's right here. It's a very nice place here in the garden. It's quiet. The visitors come, they walk past all the time. Some of them poke their heads in. There's a group to poke their heads in now. Oh, and they're coming right inside. There's a group of people coming right inside now. A whole family of people